Here's a curious question for you. Why do the absolute smartest, highest IQ, most educated people on the planet consistently make decisions that ruin their lives? Think about it. We've all met that guy, brilliant math wizard, reads 50 heavy non-fiction books a year, can explain quantum mechanics or market macroeconomics in his sleep. But his personal life is a total dumpster fire. He's chronically exhausted, his relationships are a series of time bombs, and his daily routine is eat, sleep, Roblox. Eat, sleep, Roblox. What type of routine is this, first of all? But why? Because he's trapped in surface thinking. Most people think linearly. Cause A leads to effect B. You're tired, so you drink coffee. Your bank account is low, so you work harder. Your code crashes, so you patch line 42. And it feels logical. It feels productive. You are absolutely and completely hopelessly wrong, Buster. Linear thinking is how children view the world at the age of 5. Deep thinking, the kind of cognitive operating used by master tacticians, elite engineers, and visionaries throughout history, is something else entirely. It's called system thinking. And once you learn how to see the world not as a list of isolated events, but as a matrix of interconnected feedback loops, you stop reacting to life like an NPC and you start coding reality like an architect. How about we just burn the jargon and talk about what is true intelligence? Starting with a personal story, because I stumbled into this not from a shiny self-help book. Recently, I've been failing to study 4 different disciplines completely, unable to juggle each one of them. I am deep into engineering studies, equations, physics, blueprints, CAD, structured roads, but my engineering is kinda stress related nowadays. Oh, I don't know this concept? Oh, I'm cooked. At the same time, I was obsessed about learning to code. I would read this book, solve problems, and do my best to learn Python as fast as possible. Even so, you can write 50 lines of perfectly valid logic, but if one function leaks memory in an unseen loop, the entire server stack collapses under heavy load. The bug isn't the line of it is how the data flows between components. Then I went back to the rabbit hole of science, biology, chemistry, ecology, finances, blah blah blah, special forces. And then during the special forces studies, I was learning how tacticians thought. If you look at an elite special operations team, like recently how the Mexican president or the Venezuela, yes, right, was magically kidnapped in one day by Delta Force. A small unit of 4 to 12 operators don't defeat an enemy of force of 500 by just shooting faster. That's Hollywood fantasy. They do it by analyzing the enemy's system. They don't attack the brute force at the front lines. They disrupt the enemy supply line, trigger a specific panic, feedback in the command communication through bluffs, and leverage the terrain mechanisms to defeat the enemy by making them fight themselves. And then I had a realization. These are in 4 different fields. This was one single universal language wearing different types of names. Systems. Special forces tactic is just human ecosystem manipulation. Engineering is physical system architecture. Science is natural system discovery, and coding is digital system creation. And my own life, well, it's a mess. My health is dying. My career is non-existent. I am college dropout. I'm failure. I have random events mindset. And in this life, I am exhausted with willpower. It's like you have a bug on your program, but you don't understand what's the bug. So you scream and pray to God that it fixes itself. Like, bro, it's not gonna fix itself. So that brought me to a conclusion of what's deep thinking. Let's dissect deep thinking, what actually means, so you can spot where you're currently getting played by your own brain. Linear thinking is like saying, I'm out of shape, I'm fat, I will force myself to do 10 push-ups every day. Result, you last 6 days, burn out, and then eat a family-sized pizza on day 7 and feel like you're the best player, even though you gained weight instead of losing. It's not a moral failure, it's a failure of systems. So I'm gonna give you 3 pillars of systems so you can identify and use them. First, interconnectedness. Elements versus relationships. A stack of loose bricks on your driveway isn't just a pile, it's not a house. A house is created by relationships between the bricks, the mortar, the timber, the wiring. In your life, your sleep isn't isolated from the phone screen. Your phone screen isn't isolated from your dopamine baseline. Your dopamine baseline isn't isolated from the focus at work. Everything is wired together. When you change one element, the ripple runs through the entire grid. In simplicity, there are elements in a system, and how those elements work together is called interconnectedness. As for pillar 2 is purpose and function. What system is actually doing. Here, the rule for the system is Pioneer Stafford Beer that will change how you evaluate everything. The purpose of a system is what it does. Oh my god, I know life life-changing information. I repeated myself twice. Don't listen to what system claims its goal is. Look into what it actually produces. If your goal is to write a book, your daily environment consists of loud desks, notifications popping every 4 seconds, and 3 open social media tabs. Your system's actually engineered purpose is to make you distracted doom scroller. The system doesn't care about your noble intentions. The system only obeys its structure. So to fix the interconnections and elements, you need to fix your purpose. And finally, pillar 3 is feedback loops and time delays. This is what 99% of the people are completely blindsided. Systems are driven by 2 types of feedback loop. First is the reinforcement loop, which are exponential. Action creates result, which amplifies the next action. You get stressed, you eat sugar, your blood sugar crashes, you feel brain fog, you get more stressed, you get diabetes. GG's bro, your life is over. GG's. Actually, that's a death spiral. On the flip side, you finish a task, you get hit with the intrinsic pride, your confidence rises, you tackle a bigger task. That's a compounding growth. Balancing loops, the system's built-in thermostat that resists change. When you try to radically change your life overnight, your internal balancing loop kicks back in to drag you back to your old routines. And the villain hiding inside every feedback loop is time delays. When you eat a terrible meal, you don't instantly gain 10 pounds 5 seconds later. The feedback is delayed by weeks or months because the punishment is delayed. Your linear brain thinks, hey, I just ate a donut, I didn't die, so free energy. Conversely, when you start learning a complex skill like coding or system design, you don't become a master on day 2. The reward is delayed. Linear thinkers quit during the delay because they think nothing is happening. System thinkers smile during the delay because they know the feedback loop is quietly building mass under the surface. So how do we take this out of the realm of intellectual theory and use it to live a flat out superior life? You stop trying to fix yourself and start re-engineering your environment. Here is the 3-step protocol to transition from a reactive surface thinker to a system architect. First, look around yourself. What invisible systems am I standing inside that makes this bad outcome inevitable? If you binge watch videos until 2 a.m. every night, don't blame your weak self-discipline, bro. Like, get a life. Step 2 is introduce friction and leverage points. Instead of using willpower to stop using your phone at night, alter the system topology. Put your phone charger in a hallway kitchen. Install physical plug timer that kills your router Wi-Fi at 11 p.m. automatically. Notice what happens? You didn't use a single drop of willpower. The system is like, fuck you. And you're like, oh wow, sad life, I'll just sleep early. And step 3 is building feedback loops. When you live life, make sure to improve what you do good and destroy what you don't want to do. Track metrics such as hours of deep work, sleep quality, or daily physical improvements. And by tracking it, improving upon them and inspecting the results, you notice growth, and the growth snowballs into higher development. Now look, I'm not asking you to sit down tonight, memorize this 4,000 theoretical framework from google.com, Wikipedia. That's a nerd paralysis. I'm asking you to stop being fooled by surface level symptoms. If you want to become a deep thinker, you need to think in systems, finding elements, interconnections, and purpose. Apply this for the next 7 days and watch how effortlessly your behavior shifts. If your life doesn't noticeably get smoother and sharper, come back to this video and leave a comment calling me a crazy philosopher who spends way too much time reading politics and special forces theory, and you can go back to linear thinking, but I hope you don't, because I know you're smarter than that. So let's see you in the next one.